Hey guys, tonight I wanted to talk to you about kicking that sugar habit, addiction, whatever you want to call it, because studies are out there that sugar can be as addictive as cocaine for some people. So that's why I'm calling it an addiction, because in my experience in working with people, a lot of people struggle with the sugar, and that's one thing that what I've seen can make the biggest impact on their health and their weight. If that's their goal, is to lose weight, kicking that sugar addiction can be crucial in getting over a plateau and just kind of getting your health to the next level. So the thing about sugar, though, is it comes in so many different forms, and a lot of times you just don't know that it's in some of the foods that you're eating. So I'm going to cover some of that here in a few minutes. But first off, I wanted to share why you want to reduce your sugar. And when I refer to sugar, I'm talking about processed sugar, because not all sugar is bad. So some reasons to avoid it is sugar provides fuel for cancer cells. So keep that in mind. As you're ingesting sugar, you're actually feeding cancer cells. The other thing is that it promotes weight gain, which we all know that one. And then it also causes your body to produce less leptin, which leptin is what controls the appetite regulation. So when you're hungry, when you're not hungry, that controls that. So if that is being reduced, then your body doesn't know when it's hungry and you feel like you're hungry all the time. So just a few components there. The other thing is it spurs your insulin resistance, which can lead to type 2 diabetes. So that's something else that you hear a lot of people talk about, if they are ingesting a lot of sugar and then it leading to type 2 diabetes, and that's the reason behind that. So again, like I mentioned, not all sugar is bad for you. The kind that you get in fruits, obviously you can still overdo it, but the benefits of the nutrients and stuff in the fruit is much better for you than ingesting processed sugar. And I'll share with you, I've got a couple types of sugar that we have here in our house, some natural forms, and I'll share that here in a few minutes as well. But some ways to reduce the amount of sugar that you're ingesting is through processed foods. So if you can stop buying processed foods, or at least drastically reduce those, typically anything in a box, in a can, anything that's not whole foods, a lot of times there's sugar added to it just so that it tastes better. And the thing is, like I mentioned, there's so many different forms. So if you turn over a box or jar, whatever it is, and look at the ingredient list, and this was eye-opening for me, because pretty much anything that ends in OSE is some form of sugar. And then you've also got the ones that just flat out say sugar. You've got your high fructose corn syrup, your regular corn syrup. I mean, there's so many different forms of sugar without even knowing that it's sugar. So that is something that I've learned, and just kind of learned to look at the labels before I buy something. If I am buying something, like we do buy some salad dressings. And again, salad dressing is one that we typically make our own, but if we're in a pinch, we have a few on hand just so that we have options. The other thing that was eye-opening for me that we started making our own of is like our seasonings. Taco seasoning, I had no idea that most of them have sugar added to them, but they do. Our blackened seasoning, a lot of those are marinades we make. And the other one is like ketchup. Ketchup is a huge one that has tons of sugar, as well as like your marinara sauces, your tomato sauces. And I know you might be thinking, okay, Amy, these take forever to make. And the thing is, once you get the recipe down, it's really not that hard, and we typically will make it in bulk. So like the tomato sauce, we'll make a bunch of it and then put it in different containers and freeze it. So then it's super easy to, just take however many servings we put in a container and defrost that, or throw it in a pan, heat it up, and then we've got it for the week. So we'll do that, make it in bulk, so then it's not as time consuming. The other thing is, making sure you're picking fresh fruit over like a fruit juice or dehydrated fruit or something like that. Just making sure you're getting the natural product. And the other thing I would encourage you is just gradually cut it back. Like, don't go all in and say no sugar, can't do this, because your body is going to hate you. And that's the thing I'll cover here in a couple of minutes as well. But just start weaning yourself off gradually. Give yourself a benchmark. Like, this is how much I can have this week, and cut it back until you get to a point that you feel comfortable and you feel good. The other thing is, just don't keep those temptations in your house. That has helped me tremendously, just not having the stuff there. So if I go to grab something and there's not you know, whatever your favorite sweet treat is that's not there, and you can grab a healthier alternative, then, you know, that's a big win. The other thing is try dark chocolate or cacao chips, which I shared when I shared the brownie recipe the other day. We use those in there, and I shared the brand that we use, so you can go back and check that out from this weekend. The other thing is avoid mixed drinks that have like the sugary, like the Cosmopolitans and that kind of thing, because it's all sugar based. You know, as far as drinks go, a wine, which the white wines are going to have more sugar than say like a red wine typically. And then the other thing is, if you did say like a vodka mixed with soda water, club soda, and then added lemon or lime or something like that, then that's going to be a better option because you don't have added sugar. The other thing is soft drinks. And this is a big one for a lot of people, you know, because we were told for so long, you know, aspartame and the artificial sweeteners are bad, which they are. So a lot of people have converted from the diet sodas to the regular sodas, which those are full of sugar. So just be aware of that. And if you need the carbonation, again, club soda with putting some fruit in there, or if the carbonation isn't necessarily a big deal, then you can do like a flavored water, you know, infuse it with different fruits or vegetables, that sort of thing. Or even like a LaCroix is another good option for the sparkling or the carbonation. So as far as the sweeteners that we use raw honey, and this is the Kirkland brand, which is Costco. So we do use this. We also use maple syrup. Again, this is the Costco brand. And then for actual sugar, we use organic cane sugar, and this is just the Kroger brand here. And we don't use a lot of it, but if there is a recipe that calls for sugar, this is a better option. It's not as processed. And again, it's organic cane sugar is what we use there. So I will forewarn you, as you are cutting out sugar, the first couple days are typically going to be the most challenging because your body is starting to detox. You are going to probably feel tired, you're going to have headaches, you're going to have bloatedness, body aches, you know, just all those what you would consider typically like negative effects. So what I encourage you to do there is stay strong, because like I said, typically day 2 and 3 are going to be the most challenging. Drink more water, flush out the toxins, flush out all the sugar that's in your body that, you know, has been in there for a while because of the sugar consumption. And then once you get past that, you're going to start to feel so much better. You're going to have more clarity. You know, the headaches are going to be gone, and you're just going to feel better. And that's the thing that we see. We do 5-day clean eating groups where that's the main thing. We're cutting out processed foods, processed sugars, and when we do that, people start to feel so much better, even just after 5 days. And we see quite a bit of weight loss. I mean, some of it is very drastic, and other people, you know, it's a few pounds, but typically on average, it's between 3 and 4 pounds a person that we see in weight loss just from 5 days of cutting out processed foods and sugar. So that's been very eye-opening for me. And then the thing about it is, so those 5 days are typically pretty strict as far as the sugar and the processed foods go. And then after that, we're creating a lifestyle change. So there will be, you know, the sugars that I shared, there will be recipes with those in there. Typically in the 5-day, it's not as much because we are weaning our body off of it just to see how we do and how we can feel. And then we can continue on, you know, with our longer groups and making it a lifestyle change. So that's just some tips as far as how you can kick that sugar addiction, because like I said, I know it's a problem for a lot of people. A lot of people struggle with it. So if you want recipe ideas for how to make some of these things on your own, or would like to join us in one of our groups, if you're struggling with kicking that sugar addiction, just reach out, because I would love to help. So thanks for tuning in today, guys, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.